Hey, so today going to be taking apart my workhorse for the lab. KORAD KA3305 digital control DC power supply, 30 volts, 5 amps times 2 plus 5 volts at allegedly 3 amps. Mouthful. Anyways, I was running this charging a battery, or attempting to yesterday, set it at 14 volts, 2 amps. The battery was already, I don't know, 90% charged, whatever. I had it turned on because I was using the channel 1 on something else. As soon as I made contact, I heard an arc, so I saw that it was loading it down completely. I pulled it off, and then it started doing something very, very funny. I guess I need to have power before I can turn it on. Sorry about the flashing. I know it sucks, but yeah, I was doing that no matter what I was on. At first, I kind of thought it was, I don't know, maybe a relay, like welded contacts or something. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So as you can see, like it got a pretty funny scope readout. Before I actually hooked up the scope, I was going through voltages just to see what was what, and it's coming up with that. That's what I had set it on. Power supply was saying that, and my DVM that was saying the third row. And it was actually pulling current when there was nothing hooked up to it. No lot. 1 milliamp till, I don't know, like 10 volts was what it was set to, and then ended up getting up to like 15 milliamps when it was at 31 volts. And when it goes to 31 volts, it does that nice little trick and goes to the actual 33.83. I don't know, I'm assuming that's straight from the tap, but from that waveform, it almost made me think, like, I don't know, a failure in the feedback loop or something. I don't know if you can hear that on there. The relays are switching off and on, and they generally click in at about 6 volts, 11.5, and then 22.5. And that was on channel 1 with no load hooked up to it. And channel 2 is all over. 19 for its second one. Yeah, so I don't know if it actually has like a regulator that's fucked up in it, or I really don't know. Don't know what it could be. It's curious. Just because it's an inductive load, and it was the same thing that killed Dave EEV Blogs power supply. The inductive kick killing the diode. I'm gonna check that just because, for the sole fact that when I put it on, it was reading fine. It was when I took it off is when it died or started to shit the bed, and that's how the inductive kickback works. Once the current flow is trying to be stopped, that's when the huge negative spike comes through. And yeah, so anyways, I don't know what else I can show or tell right now besides just taking it apart. So without further ado, safety first. You're off, unplug, unplug. Now already took the bolts or nuts God damn it, screws off of this fucking thing. Sorry. Sorry. Nope. Fuck it, that's gonna be good enough. Now, I've had this thing for a very, very long time. Alright, like, not a lot, but 3 years, 3.5 years. It has served me very well in my refining lab. It's refined thousands of grams worth of silver, and yeah, I put this thing to work. So I'm assuming it's going to be, yeah, see, the poor screws up there, they're all rusted from being in the acidic environment. Bolts on the transformer, or the nuts, god damn it. Overall not bad though. Power coming in to the board. Wonder if that relay is like for a soft start, or no. I don't think it would be, because it's an actual clunking power switch up there. But I don't know. Alright, so it has the little switch on the back, so you can switch between 120 and your 250, 220 volt regional shit. And it's got two, those FETs now, those are BJTs, and then 3 big rectifiers there, and then fifth BJT. Okay, I don't know. So I would assume it's probably doing, I don't know, maybe 2 for one channel, 2 for another, and then 1 back there for the 5 volt channel. Sorry, dicking with the zoom again. But I guess we'll see. Is there really not a fuse in this thing? I mean, I got the varistor there, but no. There we go. It's in there. Dumbass. So power coming over. These are the relays that's going to switch in the different taps for the transformer. So like the 6 volt and, well, alright. There's 1, 2, 3 switch ends. 6, 11.5, and 20.5. 2 for each channel, presumably. So is that a soft start? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Listen, I'm just hoping that it's something relatively easy to fix. What are these back here? Okay, so 2 SD1047s are the BJTs. Those 2 poorly heat-sinked TO220s are the 7812s. That's a 7805. They got 2 tiny little BJTs there. Oh, those are ICs, not transistors, sorry. That's the 7912, so there's its negative rail. Well, I guess, like, damn, I don't even know. I guess we can start at something simple. Yeah, that's probably channel 1, that's probably channel 2. So we'll set that there and hopefully it won't take over Set that there. You see that? Is that better? Here. Pump this up with fitting the DC power supply handbook. Alright. Check this one, it should be good. Alright. Just 511 millivolts. If I can get at this one. Well, son of a bitch. That's obviously not what it's supposed to be reading. That's far from 511 millivolts. But man, it's been a long time since I watched that video of EEV blog. I don't know if he had the same kind of failure, like obviously the same kind of failure, but the symptoms of it. That's something. Those poor things. You can see how. Now you can see how bad those current shunts look. Poor copper wires. But anyways, all right. Let me get this front off. Please hold. Okay, so got the front off. It was just taking screws there from the metal to plastic, which is fucking terrible. And then the two bottom ones going there and there. Which that reminds me, Dave tore one of these down in like one of his first videos, and the plastic to metal thing reminded me of that. I'm pretty sure there was another problem where it was like not the same height. Well, here, let's just throw this back on real quick. Good. So from the bottom to the top there, that's going to be 4 5/8. Alright, now it's a little off. Let's see. Yeah, that's about an 1/8 of an inch difference. Cool. Yeah, that's on there now. That's sad. Overall, it looks like they did pretty good on all that. That's a very pretty board. That's weird. The copper starting to come up. Huh. Yeah, it's starting to bubble there. Like I said, it was around some nasty fumes for quite some time. I think it was refining silver for me for like a year and a half. And then I took it out of my refining lab and moved it in here. And as you can tell by those sad looking screws there, it has been through hell. TL431, that's going to be, I assume, putting their minimum current load on the regulator for the 5 volt. Because coincidentally it's right here by the 5 volt. By the 5 volt. Oh wow, that screen is pretty filthy. Don't mind that. And look, Whoever bitched, I cleaned up the desk before. See? See? Look over there. See? Perfect. Anyways, I think I'm gonna call that good. There's really not much more I can tear down or show. 7.4 shit. Huh. So, these have their full own, completely isolated channels from one another. Like, completely. That's why they have those 2 positive and 2 negative 12-volt regulators back there. The channel 1 and channel 2 have nothing to do with each other. So I bet those big ass filter caps in the back, one's going to channel 1, one's going to channel 2. Because right here, they even have those little medium power transistors there. Those are what's given the 2SD 1047s in the back its base current drive. So, yeah, anyways, I'm going to unsolder and resolder it in, and that's all. Bye. Hey, so I guess this is kind of part 2 of the KORAD teardown video. Maybe it's part 2 of the fix. I guess it doesn't make a shit difference. So I thought it was just shitty. It doesn't matter where it went, but was just that. I also saw the bare trace over there and thought maybe it's kind of getting shitty like that one was. So pulled it off, and it's my poker. It's getting some bubbles at the edges and stuff. This one, however, just by poking it, I pretty much broke it, and it's so I'm gonna get it to a good spot. Lifting the trace completely, but the little gem that I found when I took this off, by the way, it's just those for the 4mm bananas, and then there's those screws that also help hold it in, so when you're jamming the fucking banana leads in there, you don't ruin it. Back completely blew the ass out of that trace. That wasn't me. Well, it was me, but it happened at the same time as the failure of that actual diode there. So, what the hell? Wonder if those are supposed to be that, like that, because the 2 they have here connected, the rest they have thin slivers. What is that? Oh, separating the noise from the digital and analog side. But that's kind of stupid. Maybe they're just separating the noise from the relays, because the digital side right there is close to the op amps right there, and that's doing the current control, voltage control, as far as constant stuff goes. Also saw up here that these are the what is it, 777 voltage regulators. They have 2 of them, the exact same, 3.3 on each one. I was kind of wondering if that was just a positive and negative rail for this KORAD 1 micro, but I'm pretty sure that they're using one for the micro and one as the voltage reference for the power supply. So, yeah. Got a couple options as far as what to do. Yeah, this was all me. Like this, beefing these tracks up, that was me. I was bored last night and didn't want to turn on the camera. So yeah, there was something right there, so I couldn't get that even. And I guess I shouldn't probably be scraping at these tracks. They're not the most solid things in the world. Alright, so I got a couple things to fix. first, I guess we need to worry about the tracks. There's a couple avenues of approach. Got this silver glue. I think that's what this is. Sorry. I don't know why I just grabbed that when I have my other one right in front of me. Silver paste. Could use that. I'm reserved about using that. So, okay, that's a little better. All right. Could use this conductive paint stick. I think that's a pretty bad idea, though. That's not going to hold for shit. That's something else. I just had it. Oh, right here in front of me. Some copper tape, but I don't know. It's pretty thin. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna make it. I think I'm just gonna end up welding in, soldering in some shit. Alright, so it goes from the negative end there back into ground, and this one obviously goes from the positive side of the capacitor to the positive terminal of the battery, or the power supply. So yeah, I could probably just put in some resistor leads and solder them on or something. I think that's really going to be the best bet. It kind of sucks that this one is so close to a relay. I don't want to remove that, but look at how wonky these relays were soldered on. That one right there is up like a couple millimeters on that corner, because they didn't need that lead apparently, so they just snipped the bastard off, and their pick and place machine didn't do too well with that. I did clean up these a little bit. I'm probably going to reflow their solder spots, and I might just replace that one, but I also might do that one too, because when I switch on the power supply and only have like 1 milliamp flowing, it's acting a little funny, and the capacitors aren't charging as quickly as they used to get me to the constant voltage point. So I'm thinking that this has a little bit of excessive leakage, which wouldn't really surprise me. It's right by this current shunt, and I've had 10 amps go on this thing many times. So that, and as far as the diode goes, by chance I actually had the exact same one that was in there, one in 5408. I have two of them. The difference in them being, this one has 530 millivolts of forward drop with my multimeter. This one has like 20 more. I know it's not a big deal, but the other one of these I have is exactly the same. So I thought about replacing with that, and then I also thought about replacing both of them with this big 10A10 mic, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna think about the pros and cons of each of those decisions, but I'm pretty sure that's all I had to say about that. They got their own little KORAD marked CPUs or microcontrollers, whatever. There's KORAD 1, KORAD 1, KORAD 4. So where's 2 and 3? I do not know. No. And I also took out this. I mainly took it out because I wanted to test those big boys and that one. And other than that, that's pretty much it, besides just twisted curiosity. The stuff that's on here is caked on, so I probably clean that with a wire brush. This fan is noisy and annoying as hell, so I'm going to replace it with this one, which now that my kids are in school, I can actually hear it, so I'm gonna fire it up. I don't know about that. That does sound a lot better than the other one. It had a whining to it, and it was very annoying. The problem being with this one, it doesn't have the little slots right in here to slide right in. It's kind of hard to right on. So the way they have this would slide in. If I can fucking figure it out. Anyways, that slid all the way up, and they had this shim of metal covering the last bit, so the air would be forced out of the unit. First of all, unit, and yeah, so this one doesn't have those. I'm wondering if I should just set her on top. She'll be alright. Maybe I'll bend these out a little bit just so it can sit down on it, and I'll move it back in just a hair to get it to kind of clamp. It could take these little tabs that they use to bend and hold down the other fan by its screw terminal. Just stick them bastards straight up and then ram this on there. Yeah, these. Yeah, that'd fit alright. Yeah. Hammer that down. Fit like a glove. If I ever need to change it though, it'll be fucked. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, that's literally it. I have thought long and hard on replacing these. I don't know if I should do it. I kind of want to, but I don't think I should. I could also replace the driver transistors and put some Darlingtons in there. Something that's not using as much of the base drive current as it is now. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's plugged into the wall. Who cares, right? Wish I would have cleaned this up a little bit better, but can't really say shit about that because I already dicked it up by soldering some more, and I'll probably cover these traces or thicken them up too, which they did that on the other board. We kind of did that there. Kind of did that on that one too, which that would be the oh yeah, that's one of the bridge rectifiers, so that's the negative ground path. Isolation there for some reason. Okay. I would really love to just take all the capacitors out and put name brand ones in, but if they're fine, that's pointless. I mean, they've lasted this long, over 3 years. The only reason anything failed on this was because I was a dumbass. So I think I'm gonna keep them in. And even though I have no idea who Most con, or most con? Most. Yeah, we'll go most, because it's the most convincing capacitor that's on this thing. I don't know. I have time to ponder, and pander I will. So I'm gonna pause for a minute. Could be a fucking month. I don't know. And go ahead and put in the diode, fix up the tracks, put in a new capacitor, think about how much the TL082Cs that they have for the op amps suck. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Can't think of nothing else that I need to do. Put it back together. And probably clean the board up. That's trashy. Super trashy. Anyways, see you soon. To you. Okay, so I am there, I think. I ended up just replacing both of the diodes with the 1 in 5408s. The traces that were broke, I started to fix this one by just putting a resistor lead, soldering it to the negative end of the diode, and taking it down to the track where it wasn't broken. But as soon as I clipped the resistor, it started pulling. Terrible sound to hear. So I just took the lead from the diode, heat shrunk it obviously, and then moved it on down. Same with the positive lead over here. Didn't really need it, so irrelevant. I did replace both of the capacitors though as well. Mainly, I don't know, just because I wanted something better in there, and I wanted to try something a little bit lower in the capacitance, so hopefully it helps out with constant current, since theoretically the perfect constant current source is infinite impedance. Well, having capacitors on the output ruins that infinite impedance. So yeah, I took it down to 220 instead of excuse me, the 470. So I think, therefore I am, that I may I don't know about that one. I need to see where that's going to. I might do the same because I have 25 volt 470s in Nichicon, so since I'm a glutton for punishment, I think I might take out these 6, maybe that one, depending on what it's going to. It is a Nikon, so you know it shaves. Isn't that a shaver brand? I don't know. Anyways, that's the update for Neos. Did I do anything else? Oh yeah, I resoldered these, which I should have waited on, because if I'm going to take these out, I'm still going to be punishing those a little bit. So, and I had to hang on the heat pretty long for this one because I soldered it, and once I bend it, you could see the gap in between the solder and the leg itself. So I had to reheat that up and make sure it flowed onto the leg of the diode itself. So that's how you fix a busted track. Be back. Got it all finished up. Ended up changing the fan in the back. I also beefed up all of the tracks that were on the back of the front board. And yeah, replaced the diode with a 5408. Also replaced all of those caps right there, just because I ended up putting 220 microfarad instead of the 330 that they had for the ones on the actual rails itself, only because I use it for constant current quite often. And yeah, capacitance bad. Anyways, let me see here. Here's nothing. Hey. Nice. So far, so good. I guess we'll put a load on it. Sorry, I'm just using a this RC box. Yeah, she looks right. Hell yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot more. So let's get that off of there. Okay. Son of a bitch. Usually switching it into serial mode. There we go. I don't know why the hell it does that. It's annoying. But it is what it is. Okay. Jesus. I wonder if that's just because, well, I don't know, just because. Let's see what it looks like. Looks alright. Granted, that's only on 5 volts, but better than what it was. Anyways, ciao.